Good morning. My name is Neil Denot, Muscle Therapy San Diego, and I am creator of the Muscular Re-calibration System. The Muscular Re-calibration System is a simplified corrective exercise system, and it's designed to safely and rapidly correct anyone's postural distortions. The Muscular Re-calibration System is based off of my 17 years of personal training fitness experience, as well as the past 6 years of being a certified Kihara resistance stretching specialist. Okay. I started my career helping people lose weight. I wanted everybody to lose weight like I did. And what I first found was that people couldn't do the exercises that I needed them to do because they were in pain or hurt, or they just couldn't do them. And it was like pulling teeth, so to speak. So I spent a lot of time finding solutions for my clients because I felt as a fitness professional, this was my job. This is why I was hired in the first place. So thus the journey began. So fast forward a few years later, I was introduced to something known as resistance stretching, and resistance stretching changed the way I saw the body, changed the way I was able to help my clients program their exercise and create the system that I use today. The difference between the muscular recalibration system and other systems out there is that it's simple and it utilizes the power of resistance stretching. And resistance stretching is essentially eccentric based exercise. Our body stretches eccentrically. As I lean forward, I've eccentrically stretched my lower back. Well, that's fine. But what happens if my ability to stretch my lower back is compromised? I'm only going to stretch as much as it's going to allow me to. And it's never just stretching. It's never just pulling forward. It's never just one muscle. It's a combination. So with the muscular recalibration, muscular recalibration system, I put together a way of determining where in the kinetic chain are we having breakdown, and what we need to do, and what combination and sequence we need to do in order to provide better movement within our entire musculature. So range of motion and flexibility are two different things. Flexibility is the ability we have to elastically stretch a muscle. Usually we're pulling at joints when we do that, and we're opening joints. Range of motion is the ability to move within a joint using our muscles. So how well they're working in synergy with each other and the other muscles and other parts of the body. We found with eccentric stretching, resistance stretching, that we're not pulling at the joints. We're pulling at the muscles while they're under tension. And what that does is it turns on the muscles that aren't working. Okay, so traditionally we'll say, oh, well, with triceps hanging, let's work on triceps. Great idea, and that's absolutely the right thing to do. However, what if we told the bicep, stop squeezing so much? We told the pec in the delt, stop squeezing so much, so the tricep works better all on its own, like it's supposed to. Your muscles are working on their own right now. Mine are right now. I'm sitting, this muscle's working. So that's what happens. We overuse those muscles, and so we get stuck in that position, and then we begin to leverage differently, right? And then sooner or later, we do something that causes us to have a breakdown somewhere. Well, let's take it from a different angle. We want to work with a client, and our client wants to improve their physique or athleticism. What's the first thing we're going to do? We're not going to beat them up. Why? That's not what we need to do for them. Neuromuscular efficiency and safety are the number one, and safety probably the most number one important thing with personal training and fitness. But neuromuscular efficiency is a part of safety. Because if we're not moving the way we're supposed to, then we're not safely moving. And we're not getting the most out of our workouts. So there's pieces of the muscular recalibration system that make it simple and clear for personal trainers to follow, because it's in forms of exercise and in forms of ways they understand to move. So you don't have to be the master's doctoral in kinesiology, movement, chiropractic, physical therapy. You just know that we're going to emphasize on the relaxation phase of a muscle as opposed to the concentration phase. So the universal mobility system, the universal mobility assessment. It's something I developed a few years ago, probably 2008, 2009, for my personal trainers for when they assess the client. So they could tell me what's happening in the kinetic chain with their clients. So I knew that, one, they were safely working with those clients. Two, that if there was any issues, I could be able to help them. And three, it was a measurement to show the trainer and the client where they've progressed to. So they're not just making their weight loss success or getting their weights up success, but this is what else they've improved. And this is what's going to carry over into the rest of their lives. And that really is a crucial piece of what we do as personal trainers. We arguably see people more than they see any other practitioner on earth. And I'm not asking us to repair somebody's ACL. I'm not asking us to decompress a disc. But all the work that they need to do to strengthen and to be proactive and to progress them in life, we are the closest impact in what they're going to do. And that's our job. So we go through the universal mobility assessment, right? And we use 3 exercises: the overhead squat, the plank, and the push-up. Why the overhead squat? Probably for what you assumed. How's our range of motion? How does it begin? From our hips was where basically everything movement begins. And what point does it stop moving? And what happens during that time period, right? It basically assesses all 5 kinetic checkpoints. So we get to see where they are. And when they hit their score, it's on a 1 to 5 basis. When they hit their score, it says, okay, this is where you've scored. And this is what we need to do to improve that range of motion. Okay, and that's where the checklist will tell us what to do. So that's a great way to see how anybody's going to move, from your senior to Drew Brees. It's going to tell us exactly where they're going. Say Drew Brees is a 4, almost 5 out of 5, right? Which is we expect them to be. Well, how do we take them from a 4.5 to a 5? How do we take them from a 5 to a 5+? There's always going to be something going on, especially when you're using powerful repetitive movements. So don't think that for a second, just because somebody has a great physique, is in the gym, that they're not going to have mobility issues. Guarantee we all are going to have mobility issues. So if we're going to program for somebody at that level, it's the distinctions, those small things that change everything, and that's how we improve. So when we improve that mobility, that half a point in an elite athlete, we make them better. We push them ahead of the pack. So again, this is applicable to anybody. Number 2, we have the plank, because, well, it shows how well we're able to get our posture in neutral and initiate and concentrate and isometrically contract our muscles. It's a good indication of how much awareness we have in our body, how much we have awareness between our upper and lower body, right? And how strong we are at doing it. So this is going to predict a safe starting point for exercise, because if they're not in plank in most exercises, they're doing them wrong. They can't stabilize. So we know that, hey, we can maybe start this person with a little heavier weight, and the answer key will show us where we should start them. And rather than guessworking, now we have a solution system that's going to say, all right, no, this is what you should be doing. And the application, as you'll see, of these exercises, it's easy. It's not new stuff you've never heard of. It's just presented to you in a different way, in a way that we wouldn't necessarily concentrate on. And as we concentrate on it, that's when we're going to see the results from it. And it's easy to implement, and I'll explain to you in a few minutes. And then lastly, we have the push-up. Why the push-up? Personally, because I see it done wrong with any exercise in the gym next to the squat. However, a lot of people suffer from shoulder injuries from sitting at a desk all day. And we bring them in the gym, we go push-up. That's our measurement of strength. Fine. If we're going to make it a measurement of strength, let's see how well we can synergistically activate the front and back of our body, the upper and lower parts of our body. And how well can we really move through full range of motion under duress? And again, we don't have to say, well, you went from 5 push-ups to 15 push-ups, because if you did crappy push-ups at 15, it doesn't count. And I've seen so many people moving through this range of motion rather than this range of motion, which is where we're supposed to be, which is depression of the shoulder girdle, shoulder blades, retraction, all that stuff, right? And what's happening, we're not even using the chest here. We're using a little bit right here. We're using the bicep because we're losing the external rotation on our shoulders, which is what's supposed to happen as we come down, right? External rotation. We're getting flexion at the elbow. We're getting flexion at the elbow and excessive internal rotation. It's crazy, but that's how it works. And it becomes a point where we can no longer leverage that, and boom, something gets hurt. So from safety's sake, by correcting exercise, we're keeping people less likely to have injury, and we're taking injury out of the game. Okay, well, not always, because there's unpredictable things that create injury. So again, this is not to diagnose sports medicine or anything like that. However, it's significantly going to change that. Okay, I've used this technique manually thousands of times, 500 different people manually, 25,000 sessions at least, corrective exercise experience, and using this technique over the last 6 years in my training. I do it myself, okay, and I utilize this, and it works the sooner we use it. So the sooner we can implement it, the better, and the best time is during an assessment. So you have these three, you have squat, plank, push-up. Where they score. Great, what do we do now? Traditionally, most people go, what's the best exercise for this? What's the best exercise for that? And that's, I'm not going to say they're not going to get the right answer, but I have a sheet. I have the solution and release sequence, and wherever they fall and whatever happens, whatever they see happening, there's a solution for them to correct it. And it's based off of the eccentric stretching. So typically, like I said, we go contract, contract. Oh, my tricep is weak. Let's contract, contract. We'll go this angle so we can get this head of the tricep, blah, 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 blah. Great. Takes a while, but then it starts to work, right? Well, again, what's stopping this guy from working? Bicep, right? Pec, delt, arguably both sides of the hips, but let's we'll get to that later. More high degree issues, this is where that comes in, but again, just simply put. So normally we go, let's work this guy, and let's work our posterior delt, and let's get our back muscles stronger, which is absolutely what you should be doing. But what if we made these muscles stop working as hard by resistance stretching them and unlocking them sequentially so they allow for the body to naturally open up? Yeah, we turn these muscles back on. So the time you spend bombarding the nervous system versus the time that you spend at a desk doing this takes a long time. It takes an exercise savviness for some people. It takes a strength issue. What if people are not strong enough to lift the weights you want them to do? What if they can't physically go into position to turn the muscle on the way that you want it to? Then we have to correct that in order for us to get the best benefits in those muscles aren't sleeping. And that's what you're going to see with the muscular recalibration system. Okay. So why is the muscular recalibration system so important? Well, as I said, muscular recalibration system is so important because there's a definitive answer and solutions for people to do when they may not have the answers or the mastery of the expertise. It's all on a piece of paper for you. It's written in exercise language. Personal trainers at a lower, at any level, we understand exercise. We might not go, we never remember which is the direction, angle, rotation, insertion point of XYZ, blah, blah, blah. But we go, how do you do a push-up? And everybody goes, oh, I know. So that's what happens, right? So how do we do a negative push-up? Everybody knows what even the people know what a negative push-up is, right? So it's very simple, easy for them to understand. So they're not sitting around doing guesswork. And by the time you go through a sequence, it might take you 15 minutes, and that 15 minutes is your warm-up. Okay, that's great. Movement preparation. It's all warm-up, flexibility, range, all right in the warm-up. That's what the warm-up's for. Now you reset the foundation. You brought it back more to even, and now everything you do, the body responds to it better because the nervous system and the muscular system are reunited. The information, they're firing faster. They're firing more frequent. They're firing more fibers. And that's exactly why we're training in the first place. And now they're able to absorb that information because the brain, that pathway's open, or some of the stuff is cleared out of the way, and more is happening. You get stronger faster. You get range of motion faster. Your athleticism increases better. Your foundational athleticism is all the key movements that make us of who we are. Really, we're dynamic creatures, whether or not we run a 40-yard dash or we walk down the street carrying kids. We balance. We need coordination. We need stability. We need strength. We need structural integrity. All these things. We just use our bodies to a different degree, all of us. So this is the leveling of the foundation. And now everything we build on top of that helps to bring everybody forward. I've used this, as I mentioned before, on myself. I go in the gym, I do reps. I see people see me doing negative biceps and then going into triceps, and they're probably like, why is this guy doing every muscle at the same time? It's like, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. Do you know what though? I'm 36, going on 37 years old, and I have some of the greatest range of motion of people I see, 10 years younger than me. It's not really about what competition-wise, but I need that. And if somebody can't do it for me, I could do it on myself. And it works, and it gets better with every workout. So I do that, and then I do my regular workout. And it doesn't hurt when I do the workout. And it gets better, and it gets better. That's what's supposed to happen. That's what corrective exercise is. So normal contraction tempo, we usually go 1-2 second hold, and then we release for 4 seconds. So we decelerate for 4 seconds, right? Great. That's the way we do when we concentrate on muscle strengthening and development, on isolating a muscle. So what happens when we have a weaker muscle? Well, we don't get the same response, right? The other side to that is if we concentrate on contraction, isometric, and then release, slow, 10 seconds, where gravity or something else is pulling us open, we're getting a stretch of that muscle, depending how we position it, right? 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can see my shirt moving, right? How do you stretch a bicep? I don't know many people that know the answer to that. I didn't know the answer to that when somebody told me to stretch my biceps. When my friend Carla, who began teaching me, that's how we stretch a bicep. And again, you can only stretch it as much as the range of motion is there. And it takes a little bit of time, but it works. And it works faster than going after the weaker muscle. And even if it doesn't work faster, it's still important to do, right? It's still a good movement prep, because right after that, we're going to go back to strengthening muscles, right? So the nervous system is so much more, it becomes more efficient. And that is the name of the game. Neuromuscular efficiency, movement preparation. Your body will perform at its highest level when it is most efficient. Dara Torres broke her own record. She's an Olympic swimmer who won a medal in Beijing and broke her own records at the age of 40 because of resistance stretching done manually for her. She had injuries. She's just a little offside, but I'm explaining how she broke her own when she was 22. She set records for herself, and she had a personal best break at 40 years old. That's when we're told we're declining our range of motion. We're told we're getting worse. We're never getting worse. We're always getting better. And this technique is so powerful that I want it to be seen throughout the world, because it's just a shift of the way we think. And it changed every way that I trained, and my results of my clients have expanded. I've seen clients get into a squat in a week rather than, of course I do some manual work, but in a week rather than 3 months. For 3 months, we're gonna get them sweaty so they can lose weight, because weight's number one. But what if we do them both together? And we do it in such a way that we've turned out in 90 days, we've turned out people who have become athletically fit, safe, full range of motion, and making or fuller range of motion, and they're making their weight loss goals. That's so powerful. That's what we do. And you don't need to go crazy looking for solutions. And that's why I did for years, trial and error. This works, that doesn't work. This works, that doesn't work. Took a lot of sweat, 25,000 plus personal training sessions. I've put my hands physically to stretch almost all my clients, statically, trigger all the other stuff. And just with resistance stretching, I've done it with 500 plus people. And I've seen it work on people who have hip replacements, knee replacements, people who were told they're not going to run again, okay? People with Parkinson's disease. Profound reunion of the brains and the muscles, the nervous system and the muscles. The body can do this. The body's meant to do this every step of the way, at any point in their life. And that will increase anybody's range of motion. And that's why I put it into the system, and that's why I'm bringing it to the world. Carla McEwen and I, my friend and mentor, all right, we are teaching around the world this year. And we'd like Idea PT to be a place where we can talk about it and spread this great knowledge and great success that we've had with the rest of the world. In August, we'll be in Shanghai teaching one of the best personal training fitness companies in the entire world, let alone in Shanghai. Because this is so important, and it works so well. And this is, in my opinion, the way we should be working out. And that's why I've submitted this video to you. And that's a brief part about my lecture, and I'll go a little bit more to depth with more visual cues, having a whiteboard, possibly XYZ. But I wanted you to see what it is that I do, what I've developed, and why it's going to help everybody. And it is helping people as we speak, and it should help more people. So again, thank you all for watching and listening to what I have to say. And I thank you for your consideration. And I am hopeful that I will see you at IDEA, presenting what I do and helping thousands, if not millions of people to have better exercise programs. Thank you, and have a great day.